Hey guys, James MC Reviews here. Hope you guys had a happy and safe Pride Month, and I hope you guys like what I did with the thumbnails. I am very happy with how those turned out. But now it's time to round out the month of June with another Ketchup review. Lightyear is the real movie that's a spin-off of another real movie that exists as a movie in that real movie's fake universe that tells the real fake story about the real fake Space Ranger that the real fake toy in that movie's universe was based on.
Any questions?
Technically, this isn't the first time Pixar's done a Buzz Lightyear origin movie, but I guess after this movie was announced, they looked at Star Command and were like,
I don't want to play with you anymore.
This is Pixar's first movie back in theaters after being cucked onto Disney Plus for the past 3 years, so there was a lot of hype and concern surrounding this movie. And how did it turn out? It was good, but not great. I think the world they create is really cool looking, and the animation is absolutely gorgeous. I know people were split on Chris Evans as the voice of Buzz, but he did pretty good. It was very Captain America in his delivery, but he does get a lot of the mannerisms down pretty well. Also, socks. Just socks. So like I said, the movie's got some good stuff in it, but it's not the epic return to theaters I was hoping for Pixar. The plot is basically the same as the Star Command movie, in that it has Buzz reluctant to take a new team of rookies under his wing, but has to learn the value of teamwork and friendship and all that crap. But honestly, the Star Command movie actually did this plot better. Firstly, it explored why Buzz was so adamant about working alone, whereas here he just kind of wants to be the cool hero and do everything himself. Not only that, but the crew in Star Command were a lot more interesting and entertaining characters. There was also a greater, more compelling threat in the Star Command movie. It didn't have to do with figuring out how to get people off of a planet. It was saving an alien race from Zurg's mind control. Speaking of Zurg, there's a twist with him towards the third act that I won't give away, but it was definitely a choice. I know it sounds like I'm being hard on this movie, and like I said, it's not bad, but considering this is Pixar's first movie back in theaters, especially coming off the heels of Turning Red, which was a far better movie than this, I don't know, it was just kind of lacking for me. I know I keep comparing it to Star Command, but that's because that movie did this concept, but better. As is, it's still enjoyable and I'd recommend checking it out, but it's nothing spectacular. I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Crimes of the Future is the new movie from David Cronenberg, and it was a better movie than Lightyear. It's set in a future where human bodies have evolved to a point where people get pleasure out of pain. As one character puts it, surgery is the new sex. So we see people pushing the limits and making very sensual art from this. The world they create from this concept is pretty intriguing. I could see a whole series based in this future. It does lean into the body horror angle like past Cronenberg movies, but it's a lot more tasteful. Like, when you see people cutting into themselves, it doesn't feel gross or exploitative. It feels very intimate. The characters are all very interesting, and the actors all do great, with Kristen Stewart being the standout for me. There are a lot of things going on and several detours with different storylines, which kind of makes me wish this was a series. I would have loved to see these stories get expanded upon. But as is, I actually recommend it. I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5. Watcher. No, this isn't season 2 of What If. It's the new stalker thriller from Shudder about a woman who moves to Romania with her husband. She notices a man staring at her from the window of the next building and starts to think the same man is following her and trying to kill her. I wasn't expecting much going into this movie, but I thought it was pretty solid. I think this type of concept has been done to death, but the fact that the victim is in another country and doesn't speak the language kind of adds a bit of tension to the situation. Because not only do people think she's crazy, but she can't really call for help because no one understands what she's saying. Micah Monroe gives a really solid performance. Bern Gorman was pretty chilling as the Watcher. He really sells it because you keep going back and forth in your head whether or not he's actually doing it, and that's the sign of an effective performance. The film is well directed and well shot. It's a pretty decent thriller, and I'd say check it out if you have time. 3.5 out of 5. Elvis is the new musical biopic from Baz Luhrmann, and it was kinda awesome. I've only seen one other movie from this director before, and that was Romeo and Juliet from 1996, but I remember really liking the visual style. And that style lends itself really well to this film. The first act feels like an adrenaline rush. You kind of feel like one of the girls in the audience for an Elvis concert. Except maybe don't throw your underwear at the screen. Trust me, I've tried. The editing and cinematography and transitions from scene to scene are so energetic and bombastic. You are just glued to the screen, to the point to where it can kind of be a little overwhelming. It isn't really the proper narrative structure we're used to from these rock biopics, even though it does hit a lot of the same beats. But it jumps around in the timeline a lot, particularly towards the beginning. I never found it confusing or jumbled though, and when it does slow down, you feel the weight of the emotional moments. The performances across the board are great. I don't know how these biopics manage to cast the perfect lead actor each time, but god damn it, they did it again. I haven't seen Austin Butler in anything else, but he's perfectly encapsulates Elvis Presley. From the movements to the voice, his energy and charisma is infectious. And Tom Hanks is enjoyably scummy as Tom Parker. The film is 2 hours 40 minutes, and for the most part, I honestly couldn't feel it. I was having too much fun tapping along to all the music and taking in all the gorgeous visuals. I would highly recommend seeing this on the biggest screen with the loudest sound possible. Even if you're not big into Elvis, you'll still have a blast. 4.5 out of 5. The Black Phone is the new horror film by Scott Derrickson, and it was surprisingly really good. I didn't have the highest expectations for this movie, except thinking Ethan Hawke looked pretty creepy, and I was really surprised not just in how tense and creepy the movie is, but also how well written and well executed it is. This feels like a very authentic 70s horror movie. I feel like I could watch this back to back with like Halloween, and they would feel like they're from the same era. I also kind of found it refreshing that they didn't just go directly into the kidnapping and actually made you care about the characters for like 20 to 30 minutes. Mason Thames is very easy to root for as Finney, not just in hoping that he'll get out of the situation alive, but that he'll stand up for himself and grow the courage he needs. Madeline McGraw was also great as the little sister. She has a lot of funny moments, and her and Finn have great chemistry. But the standout, as I said earlier, is Ethan Hawke as the grabber. This guy is so unnerving and genuinely creepy. He's almost like the Joker, where every time he's on screen you're terrified because you have no clue what his game is. This is one of the most pleasant surprises of the year. It's well shot, well directed, well acted, well written, and overall just much better than it had any right to be. I'd give it a 4 out of 5. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On is the new animated movie from A24. And there's no other word for it. This movie is just straight up charming. Everything about this movie, from the moment it started to the moment it ended, made me smile. The look of the film is gorgeous. The blending of live action and stop motion is really impressive. They do a great job making the movie feel like a documentary, with certain shots going in and out of focus and how it's all edited. It's really well made. I like the simplicity of the story of Marcel just trying to find his family, but how it also touches on things like online celebrity and the importance of community. I love the dynamic between Marcel and the filmmaker Dean. The interactions between them are both really sweet and hilarious. I don't have anything bad to say about this movie. It is so poignant and genuine. There's not a cynical bone in this movie's body. I'd highly recommend you check this movie out and watch the shorts if you get the chance. I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. I guess this also counts as a movie because it has its own entry on Letterboxd, but I also watched the Inside Outtakes. It's an hour-long special released by Bo Burnham to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Existential Crisis the movie, also known as Inside. It shows a lot of the cut songs and sketches that didn't make it into the original, as well as some alternate takes and behind-the-scenes footage of him making it. I thought these were fun to watch. I understand why a lot of this was cut, but some of the songs wouldn't feel out of place in the final film. You've probably already seen it and listened to the songs 50 times, but if you haven't, definitely check it out. I'd give it a 4 out of 5. And that does it for this month's Ketchup review. Let me know down in the comments what you watched this month, and stay tuned because I'll have my very late 10-year anniversary tribute for Gravity Falls coming in the next few weeks. Until then, check out my review for Jurassic World Dominion or my TV log for Stranger Things 4. And as always, look forward to more videos coming soon.